How's it going, everyone? It's Phil from Red Barn Honeybees. Today is July 12th. We are out at our vineyard location. We're going to be going through our hives today and checking on the honey supers and seeing how full they are, seeing where the bees are currently at in their process of collecting and capping the honey. We're also today, with this cool spell that we're having here in Minnesota, the highs aren't going to be getting above 84 degrees. We're going to throw on some Mite Away Quick Strips and kind of check how the brood nests are doing on some of these hives today. So we had seen a couple mites on the backs of a couple of hives, and we were doing some inspections previously, so we're gonna try to stay on top of those mites and try to see if we can't knock them back down while we wait here for our honey flow to end and for us to get a chance to put on a long-term Varroa mite treatment such as Apivar or something like that. So let's go take a look and see what we find today. Alright, so we're gonna get in here and take a look and see how these girls are looking so far. This hive and the next one over weren't quite as big as the other three down at the other end, so we'll see if they've moved up in here into the queen excluder and see if they've started putting away some honey. They hadn't really been touching these supers, and these were splits we had taken, so we weren't exactly expecting them to be rock stars. So, but they are certainly putting away some honey. I can see big fat frames here in the middle, so that's a positive sign. So we're going to take a look here. See some nice fresh white wax. Oh yeah, they're already starting to cap. Looking good, looking good. This is a heavy frame. Oh yeah. Go down and look a little bit in the brood box. Super's not too heavy quite yet. Alright, so we have a brood frame here. Not seeing any eggs at this moment, but there's some pollen. There's brood hatching along the outside. That looks good. So as you can see here, nice big brood, good pattern. Really laying up this whole middle, and this side is one that's hatched out. She's going to be coming back through here and she'll be laying this out. Well, there are some eggs. So she must be around here. So that's a good sign. Holy cow, this next frame over is just packed with brood. Some big fat chunky larvae on here. This queen is laying like a champ. Just huge, big pattern there. Other side is just like that. Alright, so the treatment we're going to be using today, try to make sure we're keeping our mites in check, are Mite Away Quick Strips. It's a formic acid. It is very temperature dependent. If you use it in temps that are too high, it can lead to brood loss and bee loss, and so some of the things that can happen with that is that if they feel like the temps get too high, it'll kill all the open brood. And when that happens, sometimes they'll maybe think something's wrong with their queen, so they'll kill the queen and try requeening themselves. So that's why you want to be really conscientious of the temps with that. So anything above or below 84 degrees is just fine. So that's what we're going to be going for today. So these girls won't need another super. And that's the other thing too, is you leave this treatment on for a week. It is safe to use with honey supers on, being that it's formic acid, it's an organic acid, so there's no risk with that. You do want to be a little careful. This stuff is awfully strong. So when you put it on, you want to try to keep it away from your face. And then you want to stagger it across the frames like that. And there we go. You may see some bearding after doing this. After the acid will be the most potent after this first installation. And then we'll check back in 7 days. We'll also be watching the temps over these next 7 days to make sure that if temps start getting too high, we'll come back through and remove that before it would become lethal to the bees. See, this is, like I said, the other one that wasn't looking quite as strong. Weren't doing as much up in the honey supers. Well, they're definitely up here now. Before, when we'd open this up, there wouldn't be hardly anybody up in here. So they're packing away nectar now. Looking good. Nice big brood pattern again. But she's laying nicely here. Both sides laid out, looking real good. It's a heavy box. So these are drone brood right here. And actually, the reason why we're doing this treatment, I just saw mite. So if you crack open your drone brood ever on accident, kind of like this, you can kind of use your hive tool, move them around a little bit, and if you find a little red dot, there's a good chance that that's a Varroa mite, and that's what we're trying to stay on top of. So every hive will have them. It's just that to what extent. If the bees are hygienic enough, they'll clean them out and you won't see any issues. But other ones, they just won't be able to stay on top of it, or you know, they're when you gave them their split, the frames of brood that you gave them were a little too high. Two hives down, let's move on to the third. This is looking good though here. They're definitely capping down in here. They got this stuck on, that's for sure. Bunch of brood. Bunch of freshly laid eggs. Got that nice moon-shaped pattern. Brood in the center, ringed by honey. It's what we want to be seeing at this time of the year. This box is going to be heavy though, I can already tell. So I'll see if I can grab this here. So right here, that little red dot on the back of that drone brood right there, that is a Varroa mite. That guy right there at the tip of my tool. So that's what we're trying to get rid of right now. They love drone brood because they take the longest to develop, meaning they have extra time to lay their eggs and reproduce underneath the capping. So while you need drones to continue on with breeding and expanding your yards, this is what happens if you don't keep your mite populations on under check. You know, they'll reproduce like this. So throw on another treatment here. looking pretty good up here. See what they're doing in here. They're still working it. Just starting to put honey up in this top super, which is just fine. This is a pretty heavy frame though. Alright. They are certainly capping down here in this second frame. Oh, heavy. As goes, we're building a lot of burr comb with a lot of drones. I do see a mite already. Hey everyone, it's actually a couple of days after I started making this video. I ended up running out of battery while I was out in the yard and just wanted to go over a couple of things as I wrap up this last video. When I first got out there, I didn't have the proper protection for my face. I didn't have goggles and I didn't have a mask, which is recommended when using formic acid and Mite Away Quick Strips. So after that yard, I ended up heading back home and picked up my 3M mask here. It's got the canisters here for both organic acids and organic vapors, which really simplified going through those hives and not having to hold my breath when putting those on so that you didn't take a big whiff of it. So always use the proper PPE whenever you're working with chemicals like this. I don't want to stress that enough. Beekeeping is a lot of fun. It's certainly not worth damaging your body or losing your eyesight or something along those lines from not just grabbing this the next time that you go out there. So definitely a mistake I won't make again in the future, but I just had to get it on before the temps shot back up here in Minnesota. It's even looking like it might be a little bit iffy by the end of this week, towards the end of the treatment for temps. So all in all, we're very happy with how the hives are looking so far. We should have a pretty good honey harvest coming here in a couple of weeks that I'm really looking forward to trying to make a fun video on and showing you all how we go through that process. And we have a new uncapper this year. We bought a Simple Harmony Farms uncapper. So it's a rolling uncapper that just sort of pierces the cappings, very minimal wax, which is what we're happy with, or we're looking for, because we don't have a wax spinner or anything like that. We've always just had to let our cappings drain. So when we get to that point, I'll be more than happy to make a video, and I'm looking forward to showing you how the bees have responded to these Mite Away Quick Strips. So thanks again for watching. If you made it this far, if you wouldn't mind hitting subscribe and also the like button, that'd help us out a lot. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.